Hello, everybody, and welcome to Fortress Comic News, episode 393. I am one of your hosts, Chris, alongside my co-host, Mike. What's going on, Mike?
Nothing much. It's happening. It's a few days till Halloween. You know, let the spooky people be spooked, and
Turn my porch light off so the kids leave me alone.
Some people buy candy and hand it out.
I live in the middle of nowhere, Mike.
Yeah,
Nobody's coming to my house anyways.
We do have a guest on the show. We have Robbie Atkinson. She's going to be on to talk about her project Seventh Kingdom. Really cool manga coming out at the end of the year. So looking forward to that. But in the meantime, we have some stuff that we watched. There was a lot of controversy in the Magic community this week. I won't talk about Magic too much, but
Nerd fights, let's go.
Yeah, so we had New York Comic Con last week. We had Magic Con, which is one of the big Magic conventions in Vegas this week. And the controversy, Chris, is with all these new Marvel Final Fantasy sets that they announced. So we're getting a Marvel set, we're getting a Final Fantasy set.
I saw the Final Fantasy set.
Yep. So they had pictures of Sephiroth, and for people who aren't Final Fantasy nerds, they're probably like, what the fuck is a Sephiroth? They also announced a SpongeBob SquarePants.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah. So
oh my god, here it is.
Yeah, SpongeBob. Yep. So, which is all this stuff is fun to me. I don't care. I play Magic to have fun. I don't take it too seriously. It's a card game, right? At the end of the day, some people are upset because it's getting the Fortnite treatment, where they're just bringing in all these IPs. But what the Magic community doesn't understand is the average player base when I go to the shop is my age, and there's nobody new getting into Magic. And they've noticed when they do these Marvel sets, Final Fantasy Universe Beyond sets, they get way more new players. So obviously they're going to do more of that stuff. But everybody's kind of upset about that right now. But where it's me, it's bring it on. I just want some cool cards. I don't care. I'm totally buying SpongeBob cards, by the way.
I just love the picture they chose for the ad, which is SpongeBob in Jellyfish Fields with a rainbow over top of him.
Oh, yeah. And Jellyfish Fields is going to be a land card.
Oh, 100%.
100% it's going to be Jellyfish Fields. Oh, I can't wait, dude. Yeah.
Dude, that's going to be hilarious when they show the cards.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's going to be amazing. So, the other thing is they're making all these cards, Chris, that are Spider-Man, Final Fantasy. They're all going to be part of the standard format. So, they're going to be tournament legal cards, which beforehand, up until this year, they weren't tournament legal. So if you had Lord of the Rings cards, if you had Assassin's Creed, if you had Fallout cards, you couldn't play those in a standard format, which is very competitive. So with this announcement this weekend, they're adding they're pretty much saying you could use any of these cards, which I think is hilarious because I don't play that format, but it upset a lot of people, which is yeah, but this isn't for you. It's to grow the business and get more people playing the game. So
how long have they been remastering sets?
Forever. Or they do set number 1, set number 2, so they've been rehashing the same shit for a while.
Because Innistrad
yeah
is being remastered, and I remember that from when I played Magic.
Oh yeah, and they've definitely come out with a lot of iterations.
That's hilarious. So yeah,
because then they'll do they don't just do. I'm sure in between Innistrad and then Innistrad Remastered, they probably did Return to Innistrad. So it was already they've already done that stuff. So
I would not be shocked one bit.
Yeah. So they need more ideas, and for me, I don't care. I'm having fun playing Magic, but I just think it's funny people get upset.
That's all it is at the end of the day. I can see a little bit of the argument for the Fortnite-ification of things, but fuck it, it's goddamn card. And the SpongeBob one, if the SpongeBob one was a set, maybe, but it's a secret layer, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's just layer. So it's just a few cards that people are going to have fun with.
It's basically reprints of things. Yeah.
It is going to be awesome when you can. I'm really excited to have Spider-Man fight Sephiroth. That's what I'm here for. So I can't wait for that. Yeah. I don't know, but I just thought it was fun. So other stuff, I did watch a movie that just came out on Netflix, Chris. I thought you probably like too, called Woman of the Hour. It's actually directed by Anna Kendrick. It's a thriller. It's actually a true story, which is crazy. It was about this serial killer that do you remember the show The Dating Game, like back in the 70s?
Yeah, I've been seeing stuff about this.
Okay, so the story is this guy who was killing women all across the US, and he just happened to be such a maniac that he went on the dating game with his own name and got identified on there. And I mean, let's just say when I watch a lot of these documentaries, so it's a really good movie, really good suspense. The actors in it are amazing. Anna Kendrick in it is really good. Her directing is amazing. I think she did a great job directing the movie. But there's like a commonality in the 70s, 60s, and 70s with these cases is that the cops just drop the ball every time. They're like they captured him like 3 times, let him go. They don't believe the people when they're telling them, this guy's a murderer and stuff. And it's just like it's so discouraging when you watch that stuff, because especially like when you watch Unsolved Mysteries, the only reason it's an unsolved mystery in the 70s is because the guy never filed the police work, and people would just skip from town to town because the police forces in those towns or states don't talk to each other. So, but it's crazy. They only charged him on 7 of the murders, but they think he murdered like over 130 people, which is crazy. Something like that. But it's a really good movie. It's an hour and a half, really good thriller on Netflix, and Anna Kendrick killed it as a director. The shots are amazing. So
yeah, it looks interesting. I'm in between Netflix right now, so I gotta figure out whether I want to pay for it or not.
I would say don't pay for it.
Right now, there's not much of a reason for me. I mean, like, there's a few things I'd like to watch, but it's
yeah.
I did watch a movie this week too.
What'd you watch?
I watched Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 3.
Oh shit, that came out?
It's on Max.
Oh my god, I missed it. I haven't seen it on there yet. I gotta watch it.
So I'll start this with saying, like, when this was announced, like, I made fun of it. Like, I thought it was stupid to do 3 movies and all that. I was wrong. Like, it's really well done.
Yeah.
They're all really great. This one in particular, like, kind of wraps it all up, and I love that this whole movie is them, like, finally figuring out, like, how to destroy the Anti-Monitor, and giving us that iconic scene of, like, Supergirl, and all these different things are happening.
Nice.
Dude, I was, like, tearing up when because they're going around just destroying universes, and of course they're like, we'll just destroy the Super Friends universe.
Oh, man.
And they're all like, it's Earth, whatever the year was the thing came out. And then they end it with, we're going to destroy the animated series universe.
Oh.
So they show Batman and Joker fighting on the rooftop, and it's Mark Hamill and all that, and Joker just goes, you'll spend the end of the world with me, fighting me because all this. And Batman gives the best line to just end out that whole I never want to see another voice acted thing again.
Yeah. From
the animated series, because it's so perfect. And then it zooms out to the Watchtower, and you get to see the Justice League Unlimited up there and everything. Dude, it's literally them destroying our childhood.
Yeah.
And it was amazing.
And they know who's watching it too. It's all the people that watch that shit.
Yeah. And then so they finally defeat the Anti-Monitor in this. And they're like, yeah, we saved. And then somebody's just like, oh, by the way, the multiverse is a cancer and it needs to go away.
Oh.
And the Anti-Monitor is the white blood cells of the universe.
Yeah.
Protecting itself. And then just like 100 more Anti-Monitors pop out.
Damn.
They're just like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Come on, man.
So they went this whole thing to destroy it just to realize it was for nothing.
Yep.
So then they have to go and find the Miracle Machine, Mike. I popped for hard.
Nice.
When they brought that up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they ended up creating the one. So it was basically a way for them to just reboot everything and say, now everything's on one Earth.
Yep.
And we can do movies based on this one Earth moving forward. So it's really well done. They hit nostalgia perfectly throughout this thing.
Now, was it somebody doing Kevin Conroy's like
no, okay, yeah. Sorry, I was zoning there for a minute because I was trying to talk through the movie, but yeah, it's Kevin Conroy doing all the voice acting.
His last voice acting.
So that's the last thing Conroy's ever voice acted.
Wow.
And that's why I say, like, I never, even if he has something else out there, I don't want to hear it. I don't like. It was the perfect send off of the line he said. Everything. It was the perfect way for us to like remember him and move on, and forget that he ever did a Suicide Squad video game.
Nope. Never talk about it.
Yeah, just everything in it's amazing. And I also hope that Mark Hamill, and he has said now that Conroy's passed that he's not doing anymore, but I hope he puts it away too. Like, it was just the best way for those two to end that whole run.
Yeah,
and do this. So
that's cool, man. I can't wait to watch it. I didn't even know it was out.
I highly recommend.
Nice.
As a package, there are 3 hour-and-a-half movies. They're really good, and they do some twists. They hit all the notes you want from Crisis,
right?
But they don't mimic it one for one, which I thought was smart. So
nice. So you're all caught up on the Penguin. Going episode 4 to 5. So episode 4 being like the origin of Sophia. The Hangman. You almost feel bad for her, right? Like, you're like, damn, she got screwed. Like, all these people are criminals, but like, you feel bad. You know?
They made her out to be like the innocent criminal, though. Like, she's just her daddy's daughter. You know?
Right. Yeah.
But obviously, she was doing shit.
yeah. She's still a psychopath that probably belongs in Arkham. But then, like, I think the episode 4, like, finding out what happened to her, and then episode 5, like, her redemption arc of like murdering people and like controlling the family was cool. And then we got to see in the episode 5 that the chief of police is from the Batman movie. That actor was in the Batman movie. I can't remember his name, but that character too. So that was kind of cool for him to show up at the house.
Oh, was it? Because that was the one thing throughout. I was like, you couldn't have found somebody with a less annoying voice.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I don't know if he's having issues with his voice, but I believe he was in. I don't remember his voice being like that in the movie, but he was in the Batman movie.
Yeah, neither do I.
Yeah.
And I feel bad if something happened to him.
Yeah, right.
I do, but it really took me out of that moment.
Yeah, it was like, huh.
It was kind of grinding.
He needs a cough drop or something.
Yeah.
But I think it's really ramping up to being like, I don't know how the Penguin gets himself out of this shit. Yeah.
Yeah, I get the feeling that Salvatore's done for. Like, he's going to die.
Oh yeah.
And it's going to just be the Hangman with the Gigante crime family. I think she's going to take over kind of Salvatore's whole thing.
Yep.
And Penguin's going to end up taking over what's left of her old family.
Yeah.
And some of the people that kind of scurry over that way. So I think it'll end. For me, I think it'll end the way you would expect, which is a circular thing. Like, the crime family still exists. They just have new leadership.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And we will get that like iconic shot of Penguin with the iceberg lounge at the end.
I hope so.
Yeah.
And I think we'll probably I can't imagine we don't see her and him if he doesn't die in the movie. Like they'll probably show up in the movie at some point. The second Batman movie. Yeah,
like I said, I think Penguin shows up in the second Batman movie. Like, they're going to do a whole thing at the new Iceberg Lounge.
Yeah.
He'll have a quick scene. And also, like, I'm really into this new, like, layer they have to grow their mushrooms underground.
Yeah.
And, like, the projects.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. He's like, we're going to use this spot. And it was like, and that was another thing. The girl that she talks to in jail, Magpie, she's a DC villain.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was a cool little Easter egg of, like, the realistic villains, right? Like how they have the Matt Reeves universe twist on them.
Yeah, what was the doctor that ends up helping her out?
Oh, I can't remember his name. I don't know if he's actually part of the comics or not. I don't recognize that name.
So, it's Theo Rossi, because all I can think of is freaking Sons of Anarchy when I'm watching it.
Oh, is he from Sons of Anarchy?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's great in Sons of Anarchy.
I never watched that show. Was he probably was just made for the TV show, I have to guess.
Julian Rush.
Oh, is that's the character's name?
Yes. Julian Rush, Batman Wiki. No, that's the Batman Wiki.
If I had to guess, I don't recognize him from anything.
I'll see, but I'm going to the number one source of comic book news, which is menshealth.com.
Of course. that and get your prostate checked. Yeah.
Vamp a little bit while I read this.
There's not much to vamp about. I don't think he's in it. I don't think he's in the comics, but I mean, his character is kind of a simp anyways. He's like, oh, I was supposed to help you, and now I'm just gonna go along with you, and you're gonna kill a bunch of people, and I'm gonna like, he like left the hospital to like stay with her, which is kind of weird. So I don't know. I don't really care for his character to begin with.
Yeah, he's a character made up for the show.
Yeah. But all in all, I'm still liking the show.
Could Dr. Julian Rush be reworked version of Hugo Strange? No.
He's just
same Hugo Strange.
Yeah. So either way, are you liking it now? Because you weren't liking it that much at first.
Well, the first episode was like very confusing the way it was set up, but I liked it. It was just finding time to watch it was the issue. Yeah. It's these last two episodes especially were really great. Minus like having to watch some woman stab herself in the throat with a fork.
That was a little disturbing, but
no,
no thanks.
But that whole episode, the last one, one before this week, well, technically 2 episodes ago, as you're all listening to this, where it's telling her origin of her going to Arkham was really disturbing because like they went all out with like Arkham is the most fucked up version of a mental asylum you can think of.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And like doing electroshock therapy and everything. Like, yeah, but it's really good. Yeah, I'm interested to see where they go from here.
That's the way to fix all the supervillains. Just put them in there and piss them off even more. Shock them until they get even more mad. Agatha all along 6 and 7. You said you caught up on those.
Yeah, so 6 is the kid, Wanda's son, his whole origin story.
Okay.
And the short version, Mike, is that during WandaVision, when like it all went away, the kid that we saw in that show, he goes away because he's only a construct of Wanda's magic, right?
Right.
Well, he also has magic, so he uses that magic to try to basically invade another body. And while that's going on, someone conveniently right outside the bubble gets in a car accident with their kid. The kid dies, and he takes over their body.
Oh.
So a kid who was supposed to die lives, but it's not that kid. It's this kid.
Interesting.
And then we get kind of his story of like growing up and figuring out who he is and everything. Getting, meeting his boyfriend and all this shit. So all in all, like a necessary episode, but not the most exciting thing in the world. And then like it's kind of the reveal at the end that he has all this power and all that. And the next episode is him and Agatha going to the next trial, and it's a tarot card reading, and they're all dressed up as different witches from basically Disney properties. And like Agatha is like the Wicked Witch of the West from Wizard of Oz, and he's Maleficent.
Maleficent. You can do it.
We did this before the show, and I couldn't do it then either. And then one of them's the Good Witch from Wizard of Oz. And all that.
Yep.
So the other two are going through this whole thing underground because they got sucked underground, and then they end up meeting up with them and winning the tarot card and all that. This episode I said the first episode of The Penguin was confusing. This episode's very confusing because it's one of those told out of order things.
Oh, yeah, I hate that.
Because one of the characters is like losing her memories and like only living in short bursts. So we keep going back and forth and back and forth. But it was an okay episode. The show altogether, it's not something that I would normally watch. If it wasn't a Marvel property, there's no way I'd watch this. Let's put it that way.
You would be watching it.
Yeah. But it's not bad. It's just
I got too much other stuff. There's a new Bruce Campbell show out that I want to watch.
And we learned that Audrey, what's her name? I just remembered it a few minutes ago.
Plaza?
Audrey Plaza is death.
Yeah.
Officially, she is death.
She is death.
Yeah.
There's a new show out. I think it's on Peacock called Hysteria that Bruce Campbell's in. He plays like a cop or something, but it's like about a metal band or something. I gotta watch it.
A lot of ads for that.
Yeah, I'm like, I keep hearing about it, so I need to watch that. Plus, I love Bruce Campbell, All right, comic news. So, missed some stuff from last week, but still a lot of comic news this week, which is always cool. DC announced a sequel to the crossover event so they could print more money this year. Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong where they added 2 to the title. The series will be written by Brian Bucoletto with art by Christian Duce. Yeah, that just makes sense, dude. This was like the biggest event of the year. Why would you not do a second one?
Yeah, and bringing back the same creative team is great. Too.
Yeah,
I'm glad I got to.
Yep.
I think it's funny that so they did the Legion of Doom last time.
Yep.
It looks like they're doing the Suicide Squad this time,
which is pretty funny.
And I thought the funniest joke I saw online is, what's Harley Quinn going to do against Godzilla with just a hammer? But dude, it looks like Mothra's in this, Rodan, King Ghidorah. Like, I am fucking here for that.
Let's go. Give me all that. Yep.
So I thought this was a really fun event or a crossover. When we had it last time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so down for more of it. Like, bring it on. Let's go.
Me too.
I will not be buying the Roaring first issue this time because it was a waste of money.
Yeah, that was a gimmick. For sure, a gimmick.
But it was a really cool book, and I recommend, if you have not read the first volume, to check it out so you can be caught up for the next one.
Yeah. After the DC logo was announced at New York Comic Con, they have a shop open for the memorabilia for the new DC Comics logo. That's the new one that's on the shop, right?
The new old one.
The new old one. So you can go on there and buy sweatshirts, coffee mugs. Yeah.
I had
nostalgic.
So I might buy one of the shirts because that's the best logo DC's ever come up with.
Yeah, it is pretty cool.
And if they ever change it again, they're idiots.
Yep.
I had a 15-minute long argument with somebody at the comic shop this week because I brought it up. I was like, to the comic shop owner, I was like, do you see that the logo has shirts and everything? Like, you can get, because he's a big DC guy. And somebody was just like, oh, it's so stupid. They just took the old logo and they tilted it.
Yeah.
I was like, the old logo? What? Like, it's literally the old logo. It's not even that they shifted the logo. It's just the old logo.
It's the old one. Yeah.
And this person was adamant with me. So I'm going to talk about this book later because I've been rereading this series.
Okay.
So, Mike, I picked up a book from that era this week, and I was reading it because we have the Versus omnibus coming out. So I was reading Justice League versus Avengers. And look at that logo, Mike.
Oh, it's already tilted. Yeah, look at that. It was always tilted.
It bugged me. But yeah, there's some cool stuff on There's t-shirts, there's mugs.
Yeah, I might get one of those hoodies for $40. That's pretty nice.
Yeah.
I like that.
I'll probably end up with a t-shirt. I mean, that's the DC logo, man. Like, I'm convinced because as soon as they changed the DC logo, like, DC got really fucking good again.
Yep. Yep.
It's the logo, man. I'm telling you.
That's what it is.
Nothing more. Not good creative teams.
Not having good writers and artists on these books.
Nothing. No, it's the logo.
Yep. Chip
Speaking of good creative teams.
Oh yeah, I was going to say. Speaking of one of the best, Chip Zdarsky revealed that he planned to leave Batman series after his previous arc, but was convinced by DC Editorial to stay on for one more story arc while they were planning the Batman Hush return. Wow, Chris, it's almost like we talked about that yesterday, last episode.
Well,
we talked about that he's like being so he's waiting for the Hush story arc to end, and then he'll get back into his story. He'll finish his story.
No, he's done.
Oh, okay.
So he wanted to end with the end of Failsafe.
Yeah,
with like the lead up into Absolute Power.
Okay.
And was convinced to give it one more run so they could do Batman Hush. This changes my opinion a little bit from last week, where I was not happy with them kicking him out because they had Jim Lee. It seems like they had to convince Jim Lee and Jeff Loeb in order to figure it out.
Yeah.
That just gives me a whole different concern, because did Jeff Loeb and Jim Lee have this in their back pocket for a while and they were just waiting for a chance to do it? Or
is this really Chip Zdarsky's story where he put all the pieces at the end, or were Jim and Jeff Loeb like, this is where we want Batman?
I'm sure there's some of that too.
Yeah, this is where we need him for our story. So can you get him there, Zdarsky? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's not uncommon, where like you play with the puzzle pieces and then you put it back to the way it was at the end. But I just have I'm less upset with them kicking Chip off the book than I am with the idea that they maybe said, hey, Jeff, Jim, what do you think about doing Hush again?
Right.
And they're not really being a hankering from the creators, and more of Editorial being like, we need something.
we need something. They're like, okay, you got to buy us some time.
Yeah. So, well, because Jim's a notoriously slow artist, and for good reason. He's a great artist. Yeah, it's a weird story. I'm wondering what Chip has up his sleeve next.
All
like,
signs
where's
are
he
not
going?
pointing to a good Batman story going.
Listen, it's very rare that you go back to an iconic story arc and it's as good as the original, if good at all. It's very rare. We'll see.
We'll have to see. Marvel announced that in February we're getting a new Kylo Ren comic. It's been a while, right? Titled Star Wars Legacy of Vader. It was written by Charles Soule and art by Luke Ross. After slaying his master, Supreme Leader Snoke, Kylo Ren is now the leader of the First Order, but recent events, including his murder of his father, defeat at the hands of Luke Skywalker, and a surprising connection with the mysterious Rey, force him to reckon with what it truly means to be Vader's heir. As he pursues his dark mission to bring order to the galaxy, Kylo's madness takes him down a deadly path to discover the truth about his grandfather's life. From Mustafar to Tatooine, these are thrilling adventures that enabled Kylo to confront his inner turmoil and meet his destiny.
Which is the die by Rey.
Yeah. Right?
I'm mostly just happy that Charles Soule and Luke Ross are still on Star Wars comics.
And I think Kylo's a cool character.
I think he is too. There's something there.
Yeah.
Honestly, if I was running Lucasfilm at this point, and I know like this will never happen because you'll never get the band back together to do this, but I would wipe out episode 9.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's just be like, no, that we shouldn't have gone that direction. Because that's really what kind of broke some of these characters, for me in particular. And kind of made Kylo not as cool as he could have been.
Yeah.
I'm here for the story. It's interesting that it's taking place so far in the time. It's not like they haven't done this before. Like they were doing after Empire Strikes Back stuff and still doing Kylo books, but it's weird that this is the first announcement we get. I'm convinced that they're waiting for some big reveal in the current like weekly book to happen before they announce what the next real slate is. But it's cool. I'll be there for it. I've been there for every Star Wars comics, and I love Charles Soule and Luke Ross on Star Wars stuff.
Yeah, him doing it. You know it's going to be a good story.
Yeah, and those two have been doing a lot of the main Star Wars stuff over at Marvel for a while now. So
Marvel announced to mark the second year of the return of Ultimate Comics, the 13th issues of Ultimate Spider-Man, Black Panther, X-Men, and Ultimates will be getting foil variants. Hell yeah,
shiny comics, Mike.
Shiny means it's worth more. We're back in the 90s. We've come full circle.
Oh, yeah.
My question is, why have they made all of them shiny? Do it. Make them all foil covers.
Yeah, all the 13th issues, yeah.
Yeah. No, every issue. All 12 plus the 13. They won't do that, though. They would never would. Now, they have to get the speculators out there to be like, oh shit, this one's foil, I gotta buy it.
Yeah, I mean... Yeah, I won't get these, but cool foil variants, shiny things.
Yeah,
Mike's happy.
I'm happy.
Other people are happy.
If I see one out in the wild, I'll probably end up buying it. just because it's shiny. Just because it's shiny.
That's like, what was the month where DC did the
holographic covers?
Yeah, well, the metal, like, what do they call it? Chromium covers, I think it was.
Yeah, those for Dark Knight's metal, wasn't it?
Well, there was one for Justice Society. This is recent. There's a Justice Society one. There was a Superman one.
Yeah, that was all the 90s variants. Yeah, that was like last year. It started last year. Yeah, because I think I bought the JSA one because it was all gold.
No, I stand by the 3D covers.
Yeah,
were fucking awesome.
Yeah, the Villains United one, or the not Villains United.
It was the Villain Takeover or something. Like
Forever Evil.
Yeah, because all the villains took over the book.
Yeah, but the foil cover, the 3D covers were like half superhero, half villain, which was amazing. Yeah, those are so cool.
If anyone has a lot of money to give me, I still have my Joker's daughter, because that became something.
Is that worth money?
It was at one point, and really? I think it died real quick.
Oh, wow.
But I have it, Mike.
Yeah, it's there in the collection, huh? The holy grail of comics. Image Comics announced a new one-shot horror comic from New York Times bestselling writer and TV showrunner series like Supernatural. Adam Glass, an iconic Batman Beyond artist, Bernard Chang, called Blood Train. That is an interesting team up, and also an interesting synopsis, because they say 28 days later meets the Ruins and Blood train, a high-stakes standalone horror story. After backpacking through Asia, a group of friends climb aboard the Siberian Express to start their journey home. Little do they know, they bought a one-way ticket to hell, as one of them has been infected with a bioweapon that will turn them into a monster who will slaughter everyone on the train. And the bioweapon will start World War III if it reaches the destination in Europe. Now these friends must make a difficult choice: kill someone they love to save the world, or die trying. Sounds like a simple story to me, but it does sound like something I would read. Monster on a train. I kind of like that.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think it's funny. It's going to be a magazine-sized comic too.
Oh, wow.
Which is not common for Image.
No, not at all.
But also, like, getting someone like Adam Glass, who he was involved in Suicide Squad and Supernatural.
Right.
He doesn't need this job.
Yeah, he doesn't. So
I'm wondering like what he has up his sleeve. If he has something cool that he's been trying to pitch, and he's like, "Hey, let's just do it as a comic and see."
Yeah,
but yeah, it seems cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
You got me at 28 Days Later. Honestly, I love those movies.
Oh, speaking of 28 Days Later, you know how they're doing 28 Years Later?
Yeah.
I didn't realize it's a trilogy.
Oh, jeez.
They're not just making one new movie, Chris. They're making 3 new movies, because everything needs to be a franchise. Yep. You heard it here.
I've been waiting, because it was 28 Days Later, 28 Months Later, right?
Yeah.
And now we're doing 28 Years Later.
So 28 Months wasn't the same creative team. So it wasn't the directors and writers. So I think the way the canon is going to go is they're not going to acknowledge 28 months. And they're just going to go 28 days, 28 years.
I honestly was waiting. I'm waiting for 28 seconds later, or 28 minutes later, or something like that.
28 minutes.
Or 28 hours, whatever the prequel movie's going to be.
Then they're going to do the prequel. It's going to be another trilogy.
And it's going to be James Franco in a lab with monkeys.
And then it'll be 28 fortnights later, which is 44 days or something.
What?
28 leap years later.
Listen, I love those movies. I don't want a trilogy of them.
Yeah, we don't need a whole universe.
Actually, let me rephrase that. I don't want a trilogy based on the sequel.
Yeah.
Because just one movie would make it a trilogy.
Right. I know, dude. I know.
Moving on.
Sorry to disappoint you. Image Comics announced a new adaptation of L. Frank Baum's classic series of Oz novels called The Patchwork Girl of Oz, from writer-artist Otis Frampton. When Ojo the Unlucky's life is turned upside down by a forbidden spell, he embarks on a thrilling quest across Oz to save his uncle from a deadly enchantment. Alongside him is Scraps, a vibrant and whimsical patchwork girl brought to life by magic, whose quirky charm and boundless curiosity might be the key to their success or doom. With Frampton's signature humor, dynamic artwork, and narrative brimming with heart, The Patchwork Girl of Oz offers a spellbinding adventure for readers of all ages. Don't miss the extraordinary adaptation that will transport you to a world where anything is possible, and every patch tells a story. I feel like this is really cool if you're an Oz fan, but also it kind of looks like an all ages book too. So
this one screams like Captain Underpants or Dogman.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, from the cover for sure. Yep.
Yeah, well, you look at the preview pages on the site too. It's like 100% that style, that feel. So we're obviously not the audience for it.
Right.
And I think more of these publishers are jumping into that realm, because not only can you look over at Mad Cave with their paper cuts imprint and see the fucking money they're printing.
Yep.
But like we've used to say all the time, I haven't said it in a while, but here we go. Like, Dogman's the best-selling comic book in the world. So
it is. Jump on it. Get a piece of that pie.
Yeah. So get it, but honestly, I'm good on Wizard of Oz shit for a little while. Give me a few months off from Wizard of Oz shit, please.
Yeah, same. Image Comics announced a new comic imprint called Giant Generator with Rick Remender. It was also announced that creators Steve Epting, Zeb Wells, and Kalman Androsovsky are joining the imprint's line of talent. We will learn more about the titles coming from Giant Generator in 2025. That's cool. I'm a huge fan of Rick Remender. Black Science, got them all on the shelf over here. So I will be, for sure, keeping an eye on what they're going to be coming out with.
So I sent you a video earlier of the room and how it's looking. One of the boxes I found had a bunch of graphic novels in it that I had bought. I don't know why they were in that box and not in other boxes.
Okay.
But one of them was Black Science.
Oh, yeah?
So I can't confirm that I have read that book. I'm all for this, obviously 100%. Steve Epting? Yes. Give me more Steve Epting art. Like, I need more of that. He was part of that great Captain America run with Ed Brubaker. He did the book Velvet with Brubaker.
Oh, nice.
Like, yeah, I love Steve Epting art. So whatever he's doing, I'm there for. I gotta see what the announcements are, though.
Yeah,
but Remender's big enough where I could see him doing his own imprint.
It's hard. Yeah, I guess, and it's hard with that imprint title to be like it's geared towards a specific type of comic, but I don't really think it's one specific genre.
I don't think Remender doesn't have a genre, but he has a style.
Yeah.
Like, I could definitely pick out a Remender book, but it's not because all Remender books are like sci-fi or whatever, although a lot of them are. But
yeah, I was going to say, maybe it is all sci-fi.
But he definitely has like a style, especially in the art. Like, the artists he work with are similar in nature a lot of times. So,
Dark Horse announced a new addition to Cullen Bunn's Beyond Mortal universe called Jump Scare. The series is written by Cullen Bunn, art by Danny Luckert. Strong, fast, and violent horror fan turned vigilante Jump Scare can conjure any gore-soaked weapon from any gore-soaked movie she's watched. With this power, she's become a force of good in Empire City, hacking her way through never-do-wells and monsters alike. Now her enemies want her dead, and a mobster-turned-monster Grindhouse will do whatever he can to bring her down. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be reading this. Love Cullen Bunn. Love the art for this. And I like the premise, too. I think it sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm most likely there, too. I want to see what the Beyond Mortal OGN brings before I officially jump on board this thing, because I did order it. I was really hoping, too, you would say you're on board, because I want to give you the elevator pitch that they put on the website. I don't know if you read it.
No, I have not. I just looked at the picture.
Okay, here we go. It is Harley Quinn meets Elvira.
What? Oh, man. Goodbye. No, I'm not going to read it. Goodbye. Why would I have to say things like that? They think it'll make people want to buy the book? Harley Quinn meets Elvira. That's like the worst combination of all things.
I'm sure it's a fine combination. It's the least Mike combination I've ever read.
Sure, it's a fine combination. Get the fuck out of here. Yeah, no way.
No, I don't even know when that Beyond Mortal book comes out.
Yeah, because we haven't seen anything about it.
I know I pre-ordered it. There we go. Beyond Mortal, Dark Horse Comics. Publication date July 24th.
Oh, wait. Is it out?
It is out.
Oh. Interesting.
Oh, I gotta go yell at my comic shop owner.
Uh-oh. He's gonna hear from Chris.
Yeah, he's gonna get some. Oh. I guess I'll be buying it on Amazon.
Yep. To the Amazons we go. I didn't even know it was out either. IDW's in the news. Announced a new Godzilla comic, thank God. Titled Godzilla vs. America. This seems really cool. It's an anthology series that we see Godzilla in different U.S. cities with different creative teams for each issue. Some of the creators include Tim Seeley, Carolyn Cash, Mike Costa, and the cover is really cool. It's like him stomping on the U.S. The things that the U.S. are known for, like with Florida, they have an alligator. One of the places, I think that's, there's just a donut in one of the states. I don't know what state that is. That's great.
I think, yeah, because the first issue is going to be Chicago.
Oh, cool.
And I saw somewhere in the write-up, it says that Zilla might show up.
Uh-huh.
So that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Where are you seeing a donut?
Isn't that a donut on, is that in South Carolina?
Oh, that is a donut, right outside DC.
Is that outside? It's, okay, yeah. So that's, yeah, it's weird. Because that's North Carolina, South Carolina, right? The blue and the pink. I'm terrible at geography, so I couldn't tell you, honestly. I don't know.
So this isn't to scale, because I think those are supposed to be the Virginias, because...
Oh, okay. I don't know. Either way, I didn't know there was a state known for donuts. I thought I would have known about that,
They got Texas right, I'll say that.
Yeah, they got the cowboy hat on Texas. That makes sense. It is a really cool cover, though, so look up the Godzilla vs. America cover.
Yeah, and we'll see. I want to see where else they're going to destroy and how long they're going to keep this up.
Yeah, I'm going to be reading that. Mad Cave Studios announced that after the release of Dick Tracy Volume 1, the series will be reprinted in what they call Dick Tracy Encore Editions. These reprints will have mugshot covers of the various villains from the series by artist Dave Johnson. Interesting. I don't know. I guess there's a big enough market for that. Extra issues.
It's a weird decision if you ask me, but
yeah,
they
just,
must
just
see
for
something.
Mugshots?
Like different covers, but they're second printings. I don't know.
Yeah.
They might not even be second printings. It might be like something. But to be fair, Greedo is attacking my keyboard. To be fair, Image does this a lot, and I know they're doing it with Walking Dead right now, with the Walking Dead Deluxe Edition.
Right.
But that was like a big deal because they colored the whole
colorized
series.
Everything,
and, yeah, it's a weird. When it first came to my email, the press release for it, I was super excited because I'm like, holy shit, they're doing another volume with Dick Tracy.
Yeah.
No, not so much.
I think it's their way of marketing a second printing and getting people who bought a first printing to buy the second printing.
Oh yeah, 100%. But
yeah. I think with that, let's talk about what we read this week, Chris. So there's a lot I didn't read, but there's also a lot I read. I didn't realize how many comics came out this week. Mm-hmm. I missed it. Ultra Mega was one of my favorite kaiju comics that came out last year or 2 years ago, and I didn't realize it's already coming back out with a continuation from. They picked up issue 5 and issue 6, so I got to catch up on that. But they picked up right where they left off a couple years ago, so it's been a while, over a year ago. So I need to start reading that. But okay, so here's what I read. At Army of Darkness Forever 13, I was really surprised to see another issue of this. I told you we wrapped up last issue, right, where we just ended back up in the cabin, things back to normal.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought they're going to reboot the series. Well, to my surprise, this was a fun issue celebrating the 30 years of Evil Dead comics, obviously Dark Horse. But it's a huge issue taking place through the 3 timelines when Ash gets there, and it's just him killing Deadites across each of the timelines, and they have a kill counter going on until he gets to the end of the story. So it's a lot of just ridiculous ways that he's killing zombies in different eras, and it was just it was a really fun issue, and just a lot of crazy splash pages and stuff. So it was a good time. I jumped on Detective Comics 1090 because Tom Taylor also jumped on Detective Comics, and also Michael Jannon's art. Come on, folks, what are we doing? Read this book.
I refuse.
No, really?
Remember when they announced it and they immediately started talking about doing something with his origin? I was like, nope, I'm out.
Yeah. Well, so it was an interesting storyline. Let's talk about it. It doesn't dwell too much on his origin, more of Thomas Wayne. So they talk about Thomas Wayne and how he has to uphold the Hippocratic Oath or whatever. So he helps his mother with a baby and with an abusive husband that he saved in surgery and stuff. He gets them away from the abusive husband. The woman grows up and now she's friends with Bruce, and she's really smart. She runs this bio research that all these billionaires are investing in because she's come up with a drug that de-ages people, and she's really trying to get Bruce to take it, and Bruce is thinking oh fuck, I'm so old and I'm Batman and my whole body hurts, why should I not take this drug? So it's a really interesting dynamic that he's helping fund this research and the other rich people are looking younger and taking this drug, so why doesn't he do it? Because he could and that's a good way to kind of reset Batman and be yeah, your joints are fine now. So that's kind of interesting. And then it's all happening while there's a serial killer going around who's killing young kids that are committing crimes like orphans and stuff with wayward kids. And then the only thing related to his origin is that we see Thomas Wayne in the hospital that he works at, and there's this patient that's being a huge asshole that I don't know if he treated or operated on and wants to leave the hospital. And Thomas Wayne says, yeah, let him leave, and he signs the release paperwork for him to leave, and it's Joe Chill. So that's the only thing related to the origin. So it wasn't that big as the story was he's released people that are bad people and they go on to killing other people, but he, as a doctor, he's going to take care of them. This other storyline with the de-aging drug I think is really interesting. So I trust Tom Taylor. He's given us a lot of great stories. And I really like Detective Comics. I need to go back and start reading the stuff that came before this. Superman 19.
Yes.
So it's basically the where are we now after Absolute Power. I do love the suit on Lois. I think it looks cool. I'm probably the like least. I'm in the minority of Superman fans that like it because I'm sure like some diehard Superman fans are like not Lois Lane, but I think it's cool. You know, we see they talk about Amanda Waller being on trial. We see Lex Luthor trying to regain his memory, and the way they do that is showing him like clips of him being a supervillain, which is kind of fucked up. Like, you guys didn't think this through? Like, oh, I'm destroying the world. Like this is how you're going to get him to remember his mind? What? You have Lois and Supes working together, and then this is an interesting development. Doomsday shows up, and he's like in a humanoid form, and actually says, you know, Superman, you know, I've gone toe to toe before, but I actually need your help this time. Like he's assuming the form of Time Stopper, so maybe he's traveled through time or something. But it is interesting to see Doomsday and ask for Superman's help. Like Greedo's asking for help now.
Yeah, sorry, Greedo's.
It's okay.
He wants dinner so bad.
Yeah.
I think there was one part that I thought was really important that you glossed over a little bit, but like the actual Doomsday shows up to attack him.
Yeah,
and then Superman, Lois.
Yeah.
And then that thing shows up as like the time, whatever his name was.
But it's Doomsday from the future.
But it's it's obviously a Doomsday from like way far flung in the future.
Yeah.
I loved everything going on here, dude. Fuck it. I don't care. I have no feeling of Lois can't be Superwoman or whatever. She'll be Superwoman for like a year or two and it'll go away.
Yeah.
So just get over it.
Yeah.
But that was fine. That was a cool new dynamic. I liked that the two are working together. I love the action. This is my favorite issue of the week. Like
it was
by
really
far. It was great. Dude, can we talk once again
Dan Mora's
for like the 100th time? How the fuck does Dan Mora put out so many issues?
So many good. I know. They're so good. They are like, this is Superman art for sure.
Dude, the first page.
Yeah, just the cover. The cover's amazing.
Yeah, the cover, but the first page, there's so much detail and everything going on. I'm just like, how? Yeah. Because I know he's on some other book here coming up. Oh, he's doing the Justice League book.
He's doing the Justice League, yeah. Crazy.
Insane. The man's cloned himself 3 times over. That's what's happening. That's all I convinced myself.
There's several Dan Moores in a lab somewhere.
Yeah. But this is a great jumping on point for Superman.
Yeah,
and
it is.
It was really good.
Green Lantern Dark #1. This was an Elseworld story. It was all right. It's an interesting story about this Green Lantern is kind of like a lamplighter where she actually holds a lantern. The world's been like shrouded in darkness by like Grundy Solomon Grundy was like resurrected and has like made this like zombie horde, and they're attracted to the Green Lantern's light, but also she can help destroy them. So it was a kind of I'd say a weak first issue. It focused too much on like the human characters that like worship the Green Lantern or tell stories about her. So I might give it another try. We'll see.
This is the one Elseworlds book I was kind of I'm trying.
So caught up in Action Comics. This is a great issue. We're in the Phantom Zone. Mon-El's a pirate captain, and I think this new villain or so we're seeing, Aether, is kind of interesting. So I'm really interested to see this guy who shows up and makes like the Phantom Zone tangible. I think is really interesting. Yeah, nice. And then like Superboy and Super Dash Man get pulled into like a museum after trying to investigate where all the stuff in the Fortress of Solitude is going to. So they're like trapped somewhere, which is interesting. And then Supergirl's story wasn't really interesting to me a lot. And then I noticed the map that she got of where the prisoner is looks like the map to the multiverse.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of interested to see who the prisoner is she's looking for. It's got to be a big reveal, I feel like.
Yeah, I love everything going on here, but
yeah,
two things I'll add to it was I really liked the Superman of China and Superboy like baseball game in the last issue.
Yeah, I forgot about that. That was amazing too.
And then like bickering over rules.
Yeah,
and
that was awesome.
As far as the Supergirl story goes, I don't have an opinion of it yet because I don't really know what's happening. Yeah, I think they're doing a really great job of like keeping it very under the radar. And I think that's on purpose.
Right.
And could only be done in a book following Mark Waid on Superman.
Yeah, that's the only way. Yeah.
Yeah, if this was done on its own, it would have been canceled.
Oh yeah, for
right
sure.
away.
Yeah.
So
no, I completely agree. Dark Knight Allwinter, number 4. Did you read this one?
Dark Knights of Steel.
Dark Knights of Steel. Sorry,
I didn't get to this one.
Really good. So, dude, you're gonna love this issue. We find out who the king was that like caused the Allwinter.
Is it Mr. Freeze?
Yeah. So basically, Maxwell Lord was the king of the land, and Maxwell Lord was cheating, or so Mr. Freeze, Dr. Freeze's wife was cheating on Freeze with Maxwell Lord, so he like cursed the land. He was pissed. Now he like rules the land and he froze everything. Grundy is his servant, which is really sick. So like they start, as they get further into the Allwinter, Batman gets weaker because he's Kryptonian, so he finally parts ways after getting injured, and then at the end of the book they get attacked by his daughter shows up, Rose, and they start fighting, and then we see that Freeze is like he knows about them coming and wants them dead. It's awesome. They basically turn Freeze into like this evil Lich King, like this Frost Lich King, and it's awesome. Like, it makes sense, right? I didn't even put 2 and 2 together. Like Allwinter, oh yeah, it's got to be Mr. Freeze. But dude, this series is amazing. It's really good. Oh, and then we find out like where the kid came from and where he got the powers, the green powers. Like his family or his village was slaughtered, and he like went and hid in the swamp. And lo and behold, now he's with the Greens. So makes sense.
I figured he was Swamp Thing the whole time. Like,
yeah. Rook Exodus number 6. This was a great first story arc ending.
Yes.
Very solid. Really, these first 6 issues, if you want a completed story, man, this is like a book from Image that I'd be like, this is really good. Ursaw's defeated, and the story behind him that he showed up after Better World left. So Better World sent him there to like recover all of the technology that they left. They're like, yeah, we don't care about the planet, but we have the tech. And then we find out Direwolf's father is still alive, and they want him. They've like all figured out after this wrapped up, we're gonna stay here and make this world better. They need to fix the world engine to do that. Direwolf's father, who's still alive, knows how to fix it, but we get a last image of him at the end for obviously the next story arc. But he looks fucking insane and like rabid, like a werewolf. So he's like fully like fused with whatever helmet he's wearing. So really great story. I'm looking forward to the next story. I thought that was great. So
yeah, because it's Fabok doing the art, apparently we won't get anything until next year. Because he has such a detailed art style that it takes him a while to draw, which I'm fine with. Like, I kind of was disappointed when Geiger, I would have rather Geiger did that too, like take a break and let Gary Frank do the series. I'm with you there. Like, the traditional hero's journey in this, the world building in this, and then the end when we see all the different helms across the planet, and we know what the mission is now, to go and find these helms, and whatever happens along the way happens. This became my favorite Ghost Machine book with that issue. Like, oh yeah, this first story arc was so fucking good that I can't recommend it enough.
And then the last book I wanted to talk about, Steamroller Man came in the mail.
Oh, nice.
Got this sinister old school cover. So that's from our guest that was on the show. I wish his name was on the front, but it's not. Sorry. And then I got Kaiju number 8, volume 11. I just read. So really good stuff if you're into Kaiju. And then Absolute Wonder Woman number 1 by Kelly Thompson, former guest of the show, folks. Go back and listen to it. And Sherman's art, amazing. So this has to be my favorite rendition of Wonder Woman I've ever read, hands down. It's so involved with the Greek mythology, which a really cool story of like Circe is in hell. The gods, was it Apollo that comes to her and is like, here, take this baby. We're not allowed to know where she's from. I'm putting a curse you can't use the word Amazon ever. You're going to raise her in hell if she dies, if she lives, whatever. Figure it out. it's a lot more magic based than normal, so she can do magic, but also is a badass fighter. So we get like a glimpse of how she's like raised in hell, and how she figures out that there was a Themyscira in the Amazons, and she wants to like figure out the origin, and that she really was a protector of Earth, and that's kind of like present day now. She shows up and she's protecting Earth from like these giant monsters, and she's got like a Buster sword. It's just awesome. I think what Kelly did with the world building is amazing. I think she really took advantage of what she could do here, intertwining it with the Greek mythology, but also being like it's its own thing now. I'm in this. Honestly, I might have liked this more than the Batman one. I'm saying that, but it was really badass. So, yeah,
I like the stuff that wasn't her origin story.
Yeah, I figured you probably don't like origin story stuff, but I thought it was really cool.
I thought the origin story was like too drawn out for this one.
I think it's important to the character, though.
Listen, you're not wrong. I would have liked her to kind of drib and drabbed it over like 5 issues or something.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, now it's done, and I don't have to ever see it again. So
and you get to see giant sword wielding, magic wielding Wonder Woman.
I like the character. I like the art. I thought it was a good issue. Yeah. I will not go as far as you. I think that Scott Snyder did a way better job with Absolute Batman.
They're both really good, though.
But they're both really good, and I am down for both of them.
I mean, you can't get me to read the main Wonder Woman book, but I'll read the shit out of this. I need.
Oh, that's because Tom King's writing the main one.
Yeah, that too. I won't read that.
Yeah, it's a good issue, a good first issue. I think it's got a lot of promise to be something really cool, and like you said, she's badass. Just having her have a fucking Buster sword. Like she starts Omni slashing fucking Sephiroth, and I'm fucking there for it, man. So,
sold. But yeah, that's all I got to this week. Good week for comics, and there's a lot of stuff I need to catch up on. But
I got a lot, and we're gonna see if Rito will let me.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna go in the order this pile is because that's the safest thing I can do right now.
Do it.
Gotcha Man number 4.
Yeah, I got to read that.
That was another good issue. We get to see the B Squad in this, the Beta Squad. The mission, like the covert mission, is over, but then like the rest of the team and what they're going through is happening. Ultimate Spider-Man number 10.
Nice.
So it's funny because I thought of you in this issue because we always talk about like, like it says Godzilla on the cover. I'd like to see Godzilla in the comic. Right. This doesn't have a single panel of Spider-Man in it.
Come on.
And I fucking loved it.
Oh, really? Okay, that's good.
It's Ben and Jonah Jameson like trying to uncover the story. So for me, like it's very nerdy, like journalists trying to do their thing, and I went to school for that, so like I'm into it.
Yep.
And it all kind of is interweaved with what's happening with Spider-Man and the Green Goblin. So I thought it was a really good issue. And a new artist. Star Wars Battle of Jakku, Insurgency Rising number 2. Essentially, we find out that they're setting up a squadron to go fight what's left of the Empire and figure out what's going on.
Okay.
And meanwhile, like Luke is doing Jedi shit. It was good, but it didn't like do a ton to move the story forward. This is going to be. I'm gonna get out of you for this.
Okay.
Radiant Black number 30 and 30.5.
No. Wow.
Mike, it's over.
It's over?
The Catalyst War is over.
Oh, thank God.
Basically, they merged the 2 timelines, and who was it that I read it like a week ago now? So because this is from last week. The friend that got it.
Oh, Nathan and Daniel.
So Nathan was the main character at the beginning of the book. Daniel Daniel got the Radiant Black.
Oh, okay.
They figure everything out. He gets it. Nathan goes back to Hollywood to try to go writing again, and they just say that there will be more issues coming in the future. So the Catalyst War was, like it was fun for a minute, but I think it took too long. And I think the first, technically 4, but first 2 issues spent too much time just trying to rehash the same event from different perspectives, as opposed to telling 2 different stories, which I think is why you bounced out.
Yeah.
But as it went along, it did more to differentiate itself. And I liked in this one, it brought like all the different characters together from the other books. So the Rogue Sun character and Deadly Lucky's in here and all that stuff. So it was an okay event. I'm excited to get back to actual Radiant Black stuff. Probably my favorite book of the week, which was The Donald Who Laughs versus Dark Brandon #1.
Nice. That's amazing.
So, Mike, this takes place in the Dark Multiverse during the 2024 election, where the Donald Who Laughs is fighting against the Dark Brandon. He defeats the Dark Brandon, but as the fight goes on, the Donald Who Laughs is shot in the ear by none other than former VP Mike Pence.
Oh my god!
And that's when the Dark Brandon rips off. The Donald Who Laughs rips off the Dark Brandon's head, but he has regenerated a new form, and it is as Kamala Harris, a strong black woman, who Donald says, "I think she looks Indian."
Wow.
She is completely naked, so she finds coconuts in a coconut tree right outside the White House, and makes a coconut bra out of it. Immediately becomes pregnant and gives birth to.
Well, you know the coconut joke, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's hilarious.
Oh, trust me, I'm aware.
Okay.
Immediately gives birth to her VP, who then takes a bunch of ketamine and throws up kittens all over the Dark Donald Who Laughs. Kamala uses the power of Brat to destroy the Donald Who Laughs. And then we find out that in our timeline, Biden's Titans is watching this happen in order to give Kamala a view into what she should do for the election upcoming. And then probably my favorite part of the whole book is it ends with this one-page splash where the creator of the book said, and I quote, "On November 5th, 2024, you will decide the most important decision of your life. What will my next comic book be? Kamala's Commandos or the all new, all different Trump's Titans?"
Oh my god, I love that.
I love this book so fucking much, man.
That's amazing. I love that.
Avengers #19.
Nice.
This is setting up some of the Doom stuff. So Black Panther goes on a solo mission. Doom appears and summons the Avengers, and basically does has a ethics battle with them. Like, why haven't they fixed the world, essentially? Which kind of ties into another book I'm going to talk about from the Justice League versus Avengers book. And it's basically them just having this conversation. And at the end, Vision goes, "I don't think he came here to change our minds. I think he came here to justify what he's about to do," which was basically just prelude to the whole Doom taking over everything.
Mm-hmm.
Jupiter's Legacy finale #1.
Yeah, I got to read that too. So
they're fighting on some other planet. It's a really quick read. You'll read it in 5 minutes.
Oh, really? Okay.
They're fighting on our planet. They're losing. And the queen from that planet, I forget the planet's name, but the queen from that planet is from the previous issues.
Okay.
She's about to go to Earth to take over when another group of people comes in, kills her, and is about to kill all the superheroes. But those people's planets, which is a neighboring planet that's warring with this planet, is taken over by some dark entity. The end.
Is it do we need this? Did we need this book?
I don't know what happened, Mike. I don't.
Okay.
It literally. Part of it is it's probably been so long since I've read anything Jupiter's Legacy that I'm forgetting things.
Yeah.
But I don't recognize the symbol that's on the planet. I don't recognize this new group of people.
I almost feel like he had to get this out to hold the rights to the characters or something.
I think he's just trying to wrap up the story, but yeah. Oh my god, cat!
Come on, Greedo.
You will get food in a minute. Everybody just heard my cat voice. I hope you all enjoyed it.
That's all right.
Avengers Assemble #2. The Avengers go to this small town and they fight radioactive ghost monkeys. And it's Hercules, Captain America, Hawkeye, and Night Thrasher. And apparently Night Thrasher is an inventor or something. I don't know this character. I've never read anything with this character in it, so forgive me. But I just learned he has a skateboard too. They find out that this old obscure villain called the Red Ghost is behind the whole thing. And these apes and monkeys are his old test experiments that he used to do stuff with.
Mm-hmm.
And so they have to fight them and everything. It's a blast. I just love having a book that Hercules is in.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's all I want out of life is more Hercules at Marvel, because that's became one of my favorite characters, and then they just stopped doing anything with them. So, but it's a cool book. Paranoid Gardens #4. So we find out the gardens are dying. The guy who's the head doctor is basically decided that he's going to take over the health of the garden. But it seems like he has an ulterior motive where he's slowly dying. So he's just going to kill the garden.
Mm.
And then the main character, this woman who has this power to like heal people. We still haven't gotten a full glimpse into her like origin story and how she's connected with the superhero that showed up. But we did get a small tidbit of like she was involved with some like school shooting shit. Like she was a teacher or something. And that traumatized her to a point where she needed help. So we're getting more dribs and drabs of what's going on. There's a whole cult in the background that's supposed to be like saving this doctor, but is failing to do so. Once again, the most confusing book I ever read, but I am enjoying it. It's just Gerard Way is very slowly like dribbing and drabbing information out to you as you go along. But there's a really fun scene in here where Dracula is holding a support group for people who have died.
That's cool.
So it's like Dracula with a bunch of ghosts.
That's funny.
Yeah, so. And then I'll end, because I'm doing this for my Substack, but I wanted to talk about the issues as I read them too. But I read JLA Avengers.
Nice.
#1. I've read this before, but I forgot how like weird it is.
Yeah, it's not like what you think it would be.
Well, it's weird in my eyes to combine these things. Like to have the Avengers fighting Starro just felt wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just not right.
And to have the Justice League going after the Ultimate Nullifier in order to save everything felt weird. Like there's just moments in here that I'm like, it's really cool that this happened, but they almost feel wrong at times. And I will say there's some really fun moments throughout it where like the Justice League fighting Fing Fang Foom is interesting. Like Batman interacting with Iron Man is interesting.
Yeah.
But there's a really great quote in here, and I want to see if there it is, that Hawkeye gives when the Avengers are in the DC Prime universe. And he says, "Oh right, now I get it. These losers, they're nothing but a bunch of Squadron Supreme wannabes."
Wow.
And it made me laugh so hard.
That's funny. He's not wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna keep reading. I'll talk about it as we go along, but I still can't believe that this isn't being reprinted in either of those omnibuses or some extra trade or something. And also to say to everybody that when you go to a comic shop, the first omnibus is supposed to be in shelves this week, so go check that out.
Hopefully,
Greedo finally decided to calm down, as you can see.
Just in time.
Just in time for me to say, that's all I read this week, Mike. Where can people find you on the internet?
Find me at Fortress Ricker on Twitter X. Where can they find you and or the show?
You can find me on most social media networks, X, Blue Sky, whatever, at Fortress Chris, and also at chriscomicscorner.substack.com. You can find the show at Fortress Comics _ on X, and also at fortresscomicnews.com. Remember, everybody, 5-star reviews in the podcatchers. Like, subscribe, share, comment down below on the YouTube version and the patreon.com/fortresscomics. Thank you all so much for watching and or listening this week. We'll see you all here next week.